What's going on, guys? My name's Tetra Ninja, and what I got for you guys today is an entertaining domination game on the map Summit. And this is not going to be your typical pub stomping with a full party of 6, spawn trap the other team, and then a kill streak fest. And you can probably tell by the teammates on my team right now, this is a pretty all-star cast. But I'm just going to put a disclaimer out there that I do not normally game with all these guys. This happens once in a blue moon. I get a random invite to join and party up with these guys. But like I said, it doesn't normally happen. I usually play with one other person online, and that usually just suits me fine. But once in a while, I get these party invites, and I just can't help but not accept them. But yeah, this game, you'd think with the party members that I have, that this game would be pretty standard, pretty easy. But when you play with larger channels or commentators with larger channels such as Woody's Gamertag and Wings of Redemption and Onslaught and Dunkus, once in a while, well, more than once in a while, it happens a lot that you're gonna get recognized online. And when that happens and you meet a party of guys who actually know what they are doing, and we are playing shorthanded, but that being said, when you play with a bunch of other guys who actually know what they're doing, or against people who know what they're doing, they will give you a hard time, especially on a map such as Summit. And this comes down to the fact that, also, first off, like I said, they're really good players, as well as we're very inexperienced as a team. And what you're going to notice throughout this game is that our team does not have any sort of map control until the midway through this match. And you can really demonstrate in the fact that we're kind of, even though we have the good spawn, we are given the CB flag. This is the most dominant spot on the flag configuration on this map, in the fact that you have the elevated area and people on the other team have to run through corridors that are elevated. They're still giving us a hard time. So you probably saw it earlier. I started off with the FMOS class, and that wasn't really working out for me at all. So I switched to a Galileo class, and that's something that you really want to do if something isn't working out. The reason I was running with a FMOS and a silencer is the fact that I was trying to get Ninja Pro, and it just wasn't working out, so I had to switch to another class, and then I eventually switched to this Galileo class to take out this enemy air support. And this is the point of the game where I realized I had to get serious, and unfortunately getting serious means that I had to break out the AK-74U with my Marathon. And I would have preferred to have Flak Jacket in this case, but like I said, this was early on a Prestige, and I actually did not have the funds to buy Flak Jacket yet. So ideally I would have swapped out the Hardline for a Flak Jacket. And I really don't want to make excuses, but like I said, we were playing a one-man down against a full party of 6. As well, the other team also had massive host advantage on us. And you're going to see a lot of times throughout this video, like right there, and my upcoming death around this corner where I try to take the Summit Trail. When you're playing against a team who has host, host is such a huge advantage in Call of Duty Black Ops. Enemies see you before you see them. Their bullets hit you and connect a lot more often than yours do. So you're going to see a bunch of this kind times in this game where I shoot first and I actually die last, or I'm first to die. And you're also going to see a little later on where I start shooting this guy and I expect him to die, and he just almost turns around and turns on me. So like I said, we're kind of playing with a bunch of disadvantages, but like I said, this game will come down to the wire, and we do eventually pull it off. But we've been down 2 flags for the majority of this game, and we were dominated for the first half of the game for a bit as well. So the main reason I attributed it to we're not doing that well in this game is, like I said, I don't normally game with these guys, so we don't have any map setups, or we don't have any map position on the enemy team, even though we were given the better spawn in this case. So ideally on Summit, there are a couple of power positions that you need to cover. This position where I am in right now, in order to cover the Summit Trail, as well as that main entrance into the B flag, even though I die right there, as well as the top C position on this upper level to cover that staircase side, and bottom C, or the fence area near the shelf, in order to cover that right Summit position. And we were kind of all running around at this point with kind of our heads cut off like chickens, and we had no map control whatsoever. We're trying, like I said, kind of just running all over the place. But when you're playing against an organized team, you actually have to station players there, and it doesn't provide for the greatest of gameplays. I'd have to say, you're just covering a corridor, but when you're playing a team who knows what they're doing, that's what you have to do in order to win the game. But even though we do have the strong position on this map right now with the A and B flags, we are still down almost 40 points. So our team does have a lot of ground to make. And that's also attributed to the fact that the majority of our team was running high-end kill streaks, which you typically do when you play with a bunch of commentators. They tend to run high-end kill streaks. And you're going to see an example of right here of what playing against a person with connection means. As you can see right there, look how many bullets that took to take that guy down with an AK-74U up close. That took way too many in my opinion, but that's just, like I said, that's just an example of what it feels like to playing against someone with host. Even though it does say that I do have 4 bars in this game, it's a lot. It's lying. It's a very broken 4 bar in my opinion. But anyways, back to the gameplay. What I was saying is, when you're playing with commentators, they tend to run into higher kill streaks, and what the enemy team did at the very beginning of this match is that they threw on their try-hard kill streaks. So they threw on their spy planes, their counter spy planes, their SAM turrets, and their napalm strikes. And if I was to play this game again, I definitely would have went with the UAV, the counter UAV, and either the napalm strike or the Blackbird, depending on where I wanted to hold myself. And you're gonna see this sequence right here. This is where I tend to hold out until I get my Blackbird. Like I said, this is one of the stronger positions on this map. You're covering the main entranceway from the A flag as well as the summit side, and the only weakness that you would probably run into is covering your backside, where you probably saw a mic right there or onslaught. The only way you can really counter that is either, like I said, having someone stationed right there covering your back at the very bottom of that level, or using a motion sensor and putting it in the top right hand corner of the room. So you can just keep an eye on it. But I have my Blackbird up right in the air, and I get my chopper gunner. And when you're playing against a team who knows what they're doing, your chopper gunners don't last very long. And especially on this map, chopper gunners don't work well on Summit, mainly because the 2 main spawn points are at the opposite sides of the map, at the C flag and just far further beyond the A flag right here. And when you have a chopper that's kind of circling around, you only get to use it about half the time, especially in a domination match. So a chopper gunner is probably not the best of kill streaks to use on this map. Probably would have been better to use the dogs, just because you can get people hiding out in buildings and everything. But you can see right here, I'm not getting that many kills with it, and eventually it does get shot down fairly quickly. But it served as a pretty good distraction. Even if you have a chopper gun in the air, it's not doing anything. The other team still has to prioritize in shooting it down, so it still helps our team out a bit. As you can see right there, I only got about 5 kills with it. So I get out my chopper gunner right here, and the game is actually about to get tied at 135 apiece. And I noticed that we started losing C right here, and normally this becomes the responsibility of the person sitting at top C, but whoever went down, so I actually had to cycle back and then cover it. But like I said, whoever is usually on the upper level is responsible for covering that flag. And the reason why top C is such an important position on this map is the fact that, first off, you're covering the staircase, which is the main choke point where the enemy can come up from, as well as your main responsibility of holding this position is preventing me or the person sitting in the computer room from dying. And you're gonna see a little bit right here, I go down, and this is where the game takes a huge spin. So first off, I go down, I try to get in my position as quickly as possible, but we lose C, and then we quickly lose B. We actually get dominated, and at a fairly bad point in this game to do so. So that just goes to show you how important that computer position is, as well as that top C position is on this map. At this point in the game, we have lost all map control, and now we're being dominated, so we have to capture the A flag, which, like I said, you really don't want to do. The B-C flag combination is a lot more dominant on this map, but at this stage of the game, you gotta take what you can get. So we quickly captured B as well there, but we're gonna quickly lose it, and I make a stupid decision right here to see if I could capture C by myself while the other team was capturing B. And as you can see right there, I got taken down by the guy sitting at top C. Like I said, top C and the computer room position are two of the main positions on this map that you really want to control. So I take that guy down, and then he shot me with an RPG. And when the game started getting a little bit tighter, the other team actually started breaking out all their explosives. So as a commentator, you're not even allowed. It's taboo to even have a noob tube or RPG class. So we're at a kind of a disadvantage right here, and we actually are about to lose the lead. At this point in the game, we're down 171 to 174, so we have no choice but to capture the C flag as well as capture the A flag. And we try to push into B right here, and we get the flag 99.9% captured. And you're gonna see what happens in a second. It's kind of heartbreaking. RPG coming from top C. So once again, that top C position and not having it really cost us right there. So we're respawning A right now, so we're trying to push into the B flag to make sure that we capture it. I respawn up right here, and at this point, if we lost any more flags, we would definitely lose the game. So I make a quick look at C, and then I try to get down to B as quickly as possible to try to capture it. I dive from a guy in the computer room. You have to make sure the computer room is cleared out before you try to capture it. So once again, I respawn up, take a quick look at C, make sure no one's coming around from that bridge side, and then I try to clear out the computer room as much as possible. Connection really hurts me right here. As you can see, that guy's taking tons of bullets. Get on B, then get noob tubed. And at this point, we have to capture another flag. If we do not capture another flag, we lose the game. And Onslaught, the legend that he is, he makes the flag cap for us, and we get to win the game. So yeah, that marks the end of this video. Hopefully the gameplay has been pretty entertaining. It's something a little bit different that hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you've enjoyed it, let me know in the comment box, and if you want to see more like that, I have a bunch of other videos that I've saved of gameplays that I'm pretty proud of, not for high score wise, but just the whole gameplay wise. So yeah, leave the video rating if you thought you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
It says one cat, but I felt like it was a bigger part of the